What's up, everybody? Um, so a man in Detroit, what the news is saying, they're calling him a drug dealer. A man named Marcellus Cornwell. He's been receiving high praise over the course of the past few days because he thought of an innovative way in which he could present his product to the public. But instead of selling drugs on the corner or through various trafficking schemes, Silk Road and having somebody sell it for you and you just sit in the house, right? He simply created an innovative vending machine and attached it to the side of his house. This is what Mr. Cornwell did. Marcus Cornwell from Detroit, right? It wasn't just any vending machine, though. The vending machine featured a navigation system complete with a touchscreen and animation characters and a voice command options, along with a slew of drugs for its paying customers. The machine even accepted credit card and Apple Pay. According to reports, the 46-year-old drug dealer raked in nearly $2,000 per day with this innovative vending machine. And not only that, he did it for nearly 4 years until the popularity of his business landed him on the radar of the ATF, the Bureau of the Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms. Cornell profited off of selling firearms out of his home as well to the locals in the area. That was what tipped the government off finally to Cornwell's activities, and they arrested him, but not before tipping their hat to their captor for his out-of-the-box approach to business. One of the ATF agents representing the ATF is quoted as saying, "This is entrepreneurship at its best." At its best. Unfortunately, both of these things that Mr. Cornwell were doing was illegal. And if you do this type of stuff inside the neighborhood, especially like in Detroit, people are going to take notice and they're going to get mad. During their raid of Cornwell's residence, ATF agents recovered 18 firearms, several rounds of different types of ammunition, and a plethora of suspected marijuana. Cornwell has since been released on bond. And this is from the Detroit Free Press. Salute to the writers, journalists at the Detroit Free Press. So, Mr. Cornwell came up with an innovative way to sell marijuana and other drugs. Granted, he was selling guns, firearms out of his home to the locals in the town of Detroit that he is located in, but let's take that away for a second. That's what got him caught mainly. But with the vending machine, right? We are getting to a point with the marijuana industry that it's becoming so big beyond our beliefs. Nobody ever thought that you would be able to smoke weed in Times Square freely in front of the police. Nobody ever thought that you would be able to walk around with 6 ounces of marijuana. Nobody ever thought that we would be able to walk into a dispensary in New Jersey and just buy marijuana. So, let's talk about the fact that we have come into a situation where we can't get these licenses to run dispensaries and operate an actual business, a store. A lot of blacks, Hispanics have been running into issues with this. A lot of the times, in different industries, we miss out on the first dibs of bids on licenses, businesses, because it's always handed down by someone in a higher position, and usually that person is white. So the fact that Mr. Cornwell was so smart with his innovation, what he did was, or Mr. Cornwell rather, pardon me, he gave black people another way. Because that's what I see this as. If they're allowing us to walk around, for instance, in New Jersey, you're allowed to walk around with 6 ounces of personal use of marijuana. That's a lot of marijuana because half of a pound is 8 ounces. So you're 2 ounces away from a pound, half a pound. But in New York is 28 grams, so you can walk around with an ounce of unbagged marijuana, personal use of your own. But if blacks and Hispanics are having, or people of color rather, are having an issue with being able to acquire these permits and licenses to run these businesses, and it costs so much money starting up, tax money, showing liquid assets that you have so that way you can be approved, getting the facility that you're going to grow it in, proving to them where your source of product is coming from. I feel like Cornwell gave black people an option to be creative. So imagine if you could just take a few $1,000s, buy the vending machine, skip your overhead process like my brother Lo said on my last podcast. You can skip your overhead process. Lights, electricity, all of this other stuff. You could skip that. Buy a vending machine. Go through the process with the company you buy it from to legalize everything that you're doing so your money's secure, and place that vending machine wherever you want to place it. So now you just pay a service fee, I guess, every month to the company that you bought the vending machine from, and then everything else is yours. So if Mr. Cornwell was making $2,000 a day, 365 days, 360 days. So you figure $2,000 for 360, 2 times 36 is 72. So that's $720,000 minimum a year times 4 years is $2.8 million. Now let's just say on a low ball, he had to pay the company $1,000 a month to operate the machine after he spends a few thousand for the machine, right? $12,000 a year for 4 years is $48,000 out of $2.8 million. Probably wouldn't have been nothing to him. Simple math, people. So if you ever are considering opening a business and you find it hard as a colored individual, black, Hispanic, whatever you are, you find it hard to open up that business and get that license and get the finances to get approved for that business, you can always think of a secondary option, which would be to purchase a vending machine that people can buy marijuana from. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Questions, comments, anything like that, leave it at the bottom. Also, remember that we have exclusive content. Members would like to subscribe, 99 cents, $4.99, and $10. There's all types of different content. Love, life, and loyalty is the motto. Stay safe, stay real, and stay true. You rock with me, I rock with you. Peace.